Good morning, everyone. We are back with another Craft and Chat Tuesday. I got some nice, relaxing beats going on, and I am still working on this cloak. So, I hope everybody enjoys the tunes and that they brought their crafts so that they can work along with me. You don't have to make what I'm making, make whatever you want to make, and just enjoy the next hour or so. For all of my American friends, I hope you have a good Thanksgiving, aka Gluttony Day. Me and all of my nearest and dearest, none of which are, well, other than my daughter, are blood related to me, but I see them as family. I have a very large found family. And you know what? That is a-okay. Sometimes the family you need is not the family you're born into. I should adjust my camera angle just a little bit here. Maybe we get a more even view of what I'm doing. What are you doing? I'm fighting with yarn for a second, guys. Give me just a moment. There we go. Oh, didn't mean to throw it into the trash can. Just meant to toss it to the other side of me. Here we go. My poor little webcam has focusing problems with yarn and this hook, but that's okay. As long as you can get a general idea of what I'm doing here, right? Tomorrow is Retro Wednesday. I will be going back to Phantasy Star. Found a website that has some maps, which will help. Just go collect all those little maps, get them printed. And evidently, I was going to the wrong dungeon, which is why my ass was getting handed to me so soundly and constantly. So I've got to figure out where the correct dungeon is and go to that one. But despite all that, I am really enjoying playing Phantasy Star. It's such a great game and great story. If you like the old school JRPGs, you've got to check out the whole series. 3 is the weakest one. That's because it wasn't made by the original team. But it does add to the overall story of Phantasy Star. And I'm still trying to decide where my next Second Life showcase is going to be. So if you have any suggestions for that, feel free to leave them in the comments. Right now, I'm trying to raise funds to replace the tires on my car because they're several years old. They're doing this slow leak without actually having any holes in them because they're just getting worn down. And I would really like to get them replaced before the hell known as Texas goes through its annual freeze over in February. I'd like to actually get them down before the end of December if possible. So if you want to help with that, let me see if I get my finger here. You see my goal right here, 500. That's because Ko-Fi and PayPal has their fees that they want to take out. So I've got to figure it for that. And the link right there, and it's also in my link tree, which is in the description. I also have monthly membership plans if you'd rather do that. Monthly members get one free crochet or needlework pattern a month. Depending upon the tier, you get special recognition within my Discord, personal one-on-one time with me to chat, help you with your crafts, whatever. Look at behind the scenes stuff. Or if you want to commission me for something, I have some commission options available on my Ko-Fi page as well. Okay, it's time to turn this around. Yes, I have a crochet blanket in my lap because it is cold this morning. Well, depending on where you live, it may not be considered cold to you. I am freezing. We had a cold front come through yesterday, and it absolutely was trying to do me in. I'm doing better today, though, so that's good. The debuffs are not hitting me as hard. Oh my lord, yesterday I woke up, my arthritis was all sorts of flared up. My head was killing me. I took so much CBD to get my headache down to a manageable level. And that's just how my broken body does its thing. Sure, anybody that's got chronic migraine issues and or arthritis completely understands the weather shift pains. Excuse me. My throat got a little dry right there. So, I have been thinking, and I'm not sure if I want to do this or if it's possible to do this, but I've been thinking about putting my little avatar up here in the top, oh, I get my camera right, top right corner of the screen. For while I'm playing video games or even doing something like this. Just so that, y'all have something to see that's like animated while I'm playing games and working on crafts. Coffee time. Good morning, Richard. How are you? Just been sitting here sharing my thoughts with the void of the internet, letting people know about my efforts to raise money to replace the tires on my car, um, debating on if I want to put my avatar on the screen in a little corner while I do crafts and play games, but 30 degrees? Oof, burr. Let me see what the temperature is where I'm at. I could do that real quick. It is 37 here right now. Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So, I've got the heater on, got my coffee, and hopefully I don't have to go outside today. Stop trying to get in the trash, Yarn. It's not what you're doing. Okay. Um, yeah, it's a little cold. And it's even colder where you are. I do not envy you. Mostly just because I don't do well in the cold. I don't do well when it's hot anymore either. I I want to live in a place where it's like 80 degrees Fahrenheit all year round. I could absolutely just enjoy that. So, what do you think about me using my avatar from Second Life and putting her in like a little corner of the screen while I'm playing games so that people have an animated face to associate? Japanese rice tea. I've never heard of Japanese rice tea. That does sound cozy though. Won't lie. Some some maybe hot tea. I'm hoping Japanese rice tea is a hot tea. And you got candlelit. That sounds really nice. Yeah, I might work on a way to do that, like having my avatar sit at computer desk. I'm doing games and have her do crochet while I'm doing crochet. That's kind of cool. The roasted rice flavor. Interesting. So, this goes sound completely like I don't know anything about the world. Now I'm wondering if you could do something similar, but like instead of Japanese tea, like uh, Mexican horchata, but served hot instead of cold. Because that also sounds really good. I love horchatas. And I think a hot horchata just sounds really good. I have no idea how to make horchata. I usually buy it already pre-made and everything. And I've never seen a hot horchata. I've always seen them served iced. That does sound good. Maybe I could figure out a way to make that to go with all the Thanksgiving stuff. I will research that later. Looking I'm really looking forward to Thursday. Okay, so horchata is a rice drink that has cinnamon and sugar in it, and it's usually served cold over ice. It's basically rice milk with cinnamon and sugar. It's really popular um, in the Hispanic communities, especially those where they're descendants from Mexico. So it's really big in like Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California. Yeah, it's spelled Horchata, I believe. Let me type that in the chat for you real quick. Horchata. There you go. I can't always type in the chat while I'm streaming. I can when I'm doing this. Yeah, and if it's not available up there, you can always like Google for a recipe on how to make it. But even if I can't make a hot horchata, I might just make a pitcher of horchata so that we have like a pitcher of sweet tea and a pitcher of horchata in the fridge for my uh, Thanksgiving group for Thursday. Yes, and having everything online is a double-edged sword. One, you can find information about pretty much everything, but you could also run across all sorts of people you don't want to. Personally, I don't think I could survive physically and mentally without the internet. And not because I'm like addicted to it or anything. It's because it has just made my life so much easier and I'm able to socialize in a way that I otherwise would not be able to. Yes, and the misinformation. I'm able to learn things that I otherwise would not be able to learn. Which when you're disabled and mostly homebound, being able to socialize, even just online, does so much good for your mental health. And I have heard so many people say, "Oh, I wish we were back in this era. I wish we were back in this era. I wish we were back in that era." Not me. No. I am here for the modern age, and I absolutely love it. Does it have a drawbacks? Yes. But I would not be able to do what I'm doing if it was the 1950s, the 1960s, 1970s, hell, even the 1990s. We didn't have the stuff like we do now. And yeah, the modern age has its problems, but so did those other ages. Yes, and getting to experience so many cultures from around the world. Yeah, overnight delivery is nice when you get it. I usually don't get perfectly overnight delivery, but that's because I live way out in BFE. But that's okay. I don't think I could handle living in a. I live in a small metropolis. I can't say it. Metropolitan area. I don't think I could live in a major metropolis like Dallas or Houston or Austin. I think that would absolutely be just anxiety all the time. I do plan on streaming Thursday morning, even though it is Thanksgiving. I'm going to toss the bird in the oven and stream for an hour or two and then get working on the sides. So, it will probably be Cthulhu Saves the World Thursday. That's what I'm thinking. A little game chaos before the real life chaos. Don't want to return to the old days, just fondly remember them. Yeah, I can feel you on that. I mean, there's some things that I do get nostalgic for, obviously. That's why I play retro video games every Wednesday. Because some of my happiest moments were in front of a old Tandy or the Sega Genesis I had at the time. But I also know that it's also good to appreciate what we have now in this moment. Like right now, I am very appreciative that one of my friends that lives across the street from me brought me a giant bin of yarn. You know, now mind you, that means I'm putting off the needlework I had started on the lovely mountain scene that reminds me of Bob Ross. But I had been really like craving the yarn. And so, because I couldn't afford to buy any, what had happened is she used to do, she called it tufting. A Tandy 1000? Cool. I never had a Tandy 1000. My grandmother, um, she had bought into the original Tandy Color computers, so she had all three editions. And then her first Windows PC was a compact Presario, I believe. And I taught her how to use it. That was in the late 90s when she bought that, because she wanted to be able to email and connect to the internet because she couldn't write very well anymore, but she could still type. She was typing one-handed, but that's how she taught me how to type. So, it by the time I entered 7th grade and we had to take typing class, uh, I got in so much trouble because I would rest my hand with my pinky on F, my index finger on J, thumb on keyboard. And my typing speed was about 20 words a minute. Your first Windows PC was a Gateway? That's cool. I remember their boxes. They had those crazy cow pattern boxes. Both Compaq and Gateway got bought up by other companies and eventually their divisions were closed. Which is sad because that wild time of the 90s, man, it was like there was so much crazy creativity going on when it came to like accessories for computers, designing the computers. That's where the iMacs first came out. You know, it was like there was no holds barred on what you could design and make, and those cow boxes are a perfect representation of that, honestly. But I mean, that was the era of having mice that looked like cheeseburgers and yes. Um, some of my favorite websites from the 90s was NBC was running this show called The Pretender, where this guy, he could basically, you gave him a book on something and he could like bop, memorize it and be that profession. And he was on the run from a secret society. They had a website where you could follow clues and track Jared. That was the name of the guy. And that was a lot of fun. My other favorite one from the 90s was this website called Bolt, Bolt. And it was made specifically for teenagers. It had a little IRC chat room. You could do web pages. Uh, they had games, and it was so much fun. Um, then MySpace came out. A lot of people left Bolt for MySpace. MySpace was nice. And then Facebook came out. And after, the craziness of everybody having their own kind of style of page and crazy GIFs and sparkly banners, Facebook felt very modern and clean. And but I kind of miss MySpace because when things like Twitter and Facebook came along, they yes, it streamlined things for a while, but you aren't able to do with the Facebook pages. Prodigy. Wow, there's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Um, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Prodigy also have like an internet service? Because I swear the iMacs that we used in middle school connected to the internet through Prodigy. Or maybe it was just another internet service that started with P. I don't remember. That was so long ago. Um, but yeah, and then when it came to school computers, my yarn is trying to catch on itself over here. There we. What are you doing, yarn? There we go. You know, one thing I do not miss from that era of early internet and 90s computers, the sound of the modem. That screech is just so painful. Yeah, see, I never used Prodigy as a social website, but that sounds very similar to how I used Bolt in the 90s, which I could only connect to when I was at school. So in high school, we had a bunch of like Windows 95 computers, and I think later they upgraded them to Windows 98 in the computer lab. And during free time, you could go there and basically do whatever you wanted. They had games loaded on them, you could work on homework and projects. And I would always just like either play Dune 2 or I would get on Bolts and chat with people. Because my parents at the time just absolutely refused to buy a computer because the internet was a scary place for them. So everything I learned about the internet and like Windows, modern Windows era computers, which aren't modern anymore. All right, well, give Quincy pats, and I hope you have a good day. Talk to you later, Richard. It sounds like my music paused itself. Let's unpause it. Hey, I like this music so much. I don't know if I have enough yarn to get through this row, but we're going to try. If I don't, I'll just frog it and then add my black yarn. So, I guess before I start streaming tomorrow, I need to figure out how to get my avatar on the screen without her taking up the whole screen. And figure out where I want to put her. Okay, definitely not going to have enough yarn. So, we need to back this up. And I need to grab my black yarn right here. Where are my scissors? Okay. Where did my scissors go? Did I put them in my drawer? No. My scissors disappeared. I'm gonna have to scooch back and grab some other scissors. Give me just a moment, folks. There's some other scissors. Alright, let's back this out. And then I can show you how I join my yarn. Okay, so I'm gonna put my hook right in here so I don't lose this stitch. Okay. Start up this yarn. There it is. I think. Oh my goodness. here? I have this tingle on my yard. Okay, I'm just going to do this the easy way. I'm going to cut this, and that will be a problem for future me later. So I do a slip knot on my finger. Just like that. Gives me a nice big loop there. I put this loop on my hook, tighten it down, bring it through there. What I try to do is try to keep the knot on this side of the yarn, which means I actually need to loosen this a little bit there. Tight. Oh, come on. This is not cooperating today, is it? Lay down. Tighten this one. And then do a couple of chains just so that it doesn't run away. And then I am the laziest crocheter ever because I don't try to weave in the ends right away. But I am going to knot this with a knot and a half. So that was a half knot. There's a full knot. And then we add on an extra half knot just so the yarn doesn't like try to break away. Yep. Come here, scissors. Cut the yarn that you are no longer using. Since it's not enough yarn to really do anything with, I'm just going to toss this excess into the trash as soon as I can get it all gathered here. Oh, I can feel my shoulder popping. That's not a lovely feeling. And then when I get done with what I'm making, I'll get a slightly smaller hook and run all these little bits right here through here. So we've got our start of the row. And there we go. Now we'll have several rows of lovely black yarn. I get resituated in my chair here, guys. Sorry. There. Okay. Back to work we go. With the winter holidays coming up, there is a lot of fundraiser events in Second Life. And that's what my upcoming showcases will probably be on. Um, One of them that's near and dear to me is Second Life Team Diabetes. They do fundraisers at different times of the year for research into better treatments for diabetes. My daughter is a type 1 diabetic. She's been diabetic since she was 9 years old. And medical advancements in treatment for diabetes goes a long way to improving her quality of life. So that's one that's very near and dear to me. And they are doing their winter fundraiser soon. I just set up a booth there, and everything in my booth, 100% of the profits is going to Team Diabetes for diabetic research. So when that sim goes live, I will be doing a walkabout for everyone. Um, Other things that are be going on soon is the Christmas Expo, which is great. They have like exclusive Christmas trees that you can only get there and not at any of the other stores in Second Life. Uh, they have like a section for people to set up and decorate houses for contests where people go look at the houses and vote on which one they like the best. Of course, there's shopping. There's always shopping. Um, Melville, which is one of the historic Second Life Sims, will also be having a Christmas event. Of course, you always have the shop and hop, which is lots of fun because all the stores in the Second Life shop and hops have to either give you a gift or store credits. Um, Value not less than $300. And so that's always fun. Always get lots of interesting things at the shop and hop. And I'm sure there's like lots and lots of other stuff going on that's coming up. So we will have plenty to see and do on Sundays. I've already set up for like 4 or 5 different Christmas events in Second Life. And I got a notification late last night that I was invited to another one. So I will be working on that after we get done streaming. Been adding more attractions to my amusement park in Second Life too. So now there's one where you can go into a tube and it's um, a wind tunnel basically, but you're upright. I forgot what those things are called. Um, I also put in one of those uh, where you sit in the chairs that takes you way up and drops you all of a sudden really fast. Got one of those in. just been really, really busy. But it's that time of the year. It's gonna be like this until after Valentine's Day. Well, more like after Easter, to be honest. And I need to find some land. I think we may be setting up the church virtually in Second Life. Not 100% sure on that. I am not the decision maker on these things, but the decision maker, Derek, did say that Second Life was looking like a good possibility. Oh, I have a knot in my yarn. Look at this knot. Oh my goodness. There we go. Much better. No more knots. I think this is going to be very interesting and unique looking when it's done. Keep on until I get done with this row, and then I'm going to call it for the day on this stream. Ooh, there we go. We are about 3/4 of the way through this row. This is beautiful, but it is not a small craft. But it's not a difficult pattern. The hardest part was this was originally supposed to be a blanket, but it ended up going in like a U shape on me, which it's not supposed to do. But it's just because how I crochet. I really should have used like a hook 2 sizes up for the starting row so it wouldn't do that. But since it's doing the U shape, I'm just going to make it into a cloak. There's not nearly enough cloaks in real life. There should be more. They're awesome. They keep you warm. They give you a little pizzazz to your outfits. You can hide in them. If you make them big enough, it's like a wearable blanket. I did that with one of my shawls. I made this massive, humongous shawl out of a whole bunch of leftover yarns. It's really funky looking, but you know what? It keeps me so warm during the winter. It really does, without having like the heaviness of an extra large coat. That's really great. It took me a few tries to get the pattern worked out right on this because the instructions were written in UK crochet, which is a little different from American crochet. So at first I was doing what I thought was supposed to be triple crochets, American triple crochets. No, they were British triple crochets, which are American double crochets. So I had to do a little mental translating before I got into the feel of things. But it's a 1 row repeat. So once I had it set in my brain, I could do this. I can't do it while playing video games, obviously, but watching TV, chatting with people on Discord. I've brought my crochet to the tabletop role playing groups table and crocheted while playing a character in a tabletop RPG. I've DM'd while crocheting, or Dungeon Master Game Mastered while crocheting. And people know that it's getting serious when I set the hook down for something other than note taking. It's quite funny when I set it down and I go like this, and they're like, oh, oh dear, she's serious now. So we are almost done. And I'm going to tell everyone that I want you to remember to keep hydrated, drink your water, don't forget to eat. You need nourishment. Make sure you also get plenty of rest. Don't forget to fill up your social meters today. And that I hope everyone has a successful respawn tomorrow. This is Sarah, signing off. Bye.